the leader of the Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives, whose name featured on the Labour Party suspension list, Honourable Ogene. Thank you for joining us on the program this evening. The Labour Party announced your suspension, but you and two other lawmakers called it laughable and said that Julius Abure lacks the authority to suspend anyone. Let's begin with what you have called the illegality of the Abure-led Labour Party, because the Supreme Court did hold that the issue of leadership was an internal affair of the party, over which courts lacked jurisdiction. That position, I'm sure you are aware, has different interpretations by both factions. What do you make of this?
Well, I think that it is also too late in the day to begin to dissect the Supreme Court judgment. That judgment was written in English, understandable one at that. And after that judgment, you will recall that a day after, Abure was quiet. But I think that some legal jobbers went to him to say that you can play the same card that the PDP was playing. And so he woke up to restate a claim to the leadership of the party. Remember that Abure was the one who went to court after INEC had declared, the Independent National Electoral Commission, that his tenure was over by June 8, 2024. And he wanted to be given the right to upload the list of candidates for the Ondo gubernatorial elections. So the Court of First Instance, the High Court, gave him that authority because it was one of the things he requested. At the appeal court, that position was sustained. And then the National Caretaker Committee of the party had asked to be joined at the appeal level. So when it got to the Supreme Court, all the prayers of the National Caretaker Committee, led by distinguished Senator, former Minister Nenadi Esther Usman, the prayers were upheld by the Supreme Court. Abure's cross-appeal was thrown out. The learned justice who wrote the lead judgment even went as far as advising that political leaders must be gracious enough to leave the scene when their tenure was over. So if two people went to court seeking different reliefs, one was thrown away, the others had their own demands described as meritorious and sustained. I don't think that he needs any legal interpretation to... Okay. What he simply means is that the status quo ante bellum, which led Abure to run to court, they were saying that, no, this is a matter for the party, and the party had taken a decision.
I hear you, Honorable.
As far back as June 4th.
Yes. I get you, and I understand your position on that matter, but you've also accused Mr. Abure of appeasing external forces driving the party's disintegration. Who exactly are these external forces, and what do you think they stand to gain from destabilizing the party?
You recall that barely 3 years ago, 2022, when Mr. P2B entered Labour Party, a lot of people felt that they were just an audio opposition. In fact, some infamously described it as 4 young men in a room just sending out messages. But the results of the elections proved otherwise. And so, from a lowly position of not having even one councillor, the Labour Party grew to become the number 3 political party in Nigeria. And I don't want to go back into what happens at the presidential elections with all majority in the FCT before the issue of the glitch came in. So external forces could be anybody. People who are afraid that a Labour Party with 35 strong member House of Representatives caucus, 8 senators, 1 governor, will do much more than they did in 2023. And so it will be in their interest to see that the party does not stand united for the next elections. But I'm not blaming them. It's like a football game. If you have a player who is doing well in an opposing team, before the next season, you would even want to buy the player over. it is for you that owns the other club that has the player to also devise means of keeping your own player. So I'm not blaming the external forces. Rather, I'm blaming the rat inside who is telling the rat in the bush that there is fish in the kitchen.
Honorable Ogene,
and that is simply what Abure is doing.
You're aware that the numbers you quoted earlier is also fast depleting. Some of your colleagues have already defected. Is that something you're contemplating as well?
No. If there is going to be anything like the last man standing, I would be. But you would also point to why this depletion is happening. For a man who was bequeathed 35 members, who lost one to death, the remaining 30, and then lost 2 in the courts at the appeal court level, to now have members serially defecting. Only 2 days ago, another 2 defected from Enugu State. Does that not tell you that his administration of the party is faulty? So if you are giving that large number of elected members and you are allowing them defect, and why are they defecting? They are not sure that the Labour Party offers a credible platform to run elections and sustain it. They don't want a situation of what happened in Plateau State to happen, where they will go for primaries, campaign, win elections, only to be told in the courts that this man has been long thrown overboard as chairman of the party. And that is why they're seeking their political fortunes elsewhere.
Does that not bother you as an elected official yourself? Are you saying you are going to stay with the Labour Party irrespective of what happens?
Of course, it bothers me. As leader of the Labour Party caucus, it does bother me. And that is why we are doing everything within our remit to ensure that Barrister Julius Abure and his cohorts, they've served the party. Now they didn't do what they ought to do, and it is time to go. And the highest court in the land has stated so. And that is why we are saying that it will be better for them to leave the scene at a time that the ovation is loudest, instead of remaining to be taking the party through all these shenanigans that they're taking us through.
What would you say is Mr. Peter Obi's position on this? The man you said single-handedly won, or rather took your party to number 3 in 2023.
I didn't say. Nigerians said, and the world bore testimony, that he is the soul of the party, as it were, because it was Mr. Peter Obi's efforts that brought a lot of the victories that elected members secured. Well, his position, Peter has famously been known to have said that he promised Nigerians a better Nigeria, not a better Labour Party, because Labour Party, he also came into the party. And Peter is somebody who would willingly work with anybody, no matter what part of the country you come from.
I wonder how you react to the position of Nigerians who think that it is a litmus test of his leadership to watch the party that helped him win those millions of votes disintegrate under him.
No,
you don't think that the Labour Party was a small Nigeria for him to test the waters and show Nigerians that he's really a leader who can unite people along dividing lines?
On the contrary, Mr. Peter Obi's position on this matter believe in the rule of law, which is something that has defined his political experiences. Remember, this was a man who got to the governorship stool through the courts. He didn't seek self-help. For 3 years, he was in court. He got his judgment. He was impeached. He went back to court. He was reinstated. An election was conducted when his tenure was not over. He went for tenure interpretation through the courts. He came back to finish his tenure and win another election.
And I understand you, but I'm saying that his success at the poll automatically makes him the leader of this party. You don't agree to that? And that if the party disintegrates, he also shares some responsibility?
No, he's leader of the party, but I don't know whether you want him to hold Abure by the collars and throw him out of office. which was why he supported the process of going to court. And the highest court in the land has clearly stated that Mr. Abure is no longer in a position to be national chairman of the party. I don't know what else you want Mr. P2B to do. Do you want him to go the Abure way? He is never known for that. And that's why I try to tell you about his political trajectory. And so that should even reassure Nigerians that should he assume the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the rule of law would be number one.
Let us quickly get back to this suspension. The party, we understand, set up a 5-man disciplinary committee that recommended your suspension. Were you given fair hearing? Did they present concrete evidence of anti-party activities, or you did not consider them worthy enough to attend?
In the first place, you cannot give what you don't have. A former national chairman of the party cannot set up a disciplinary committee to discipline members of the party. But besides that, nobody contacted me, and I'm surprised that when Mr. Abure said the committee has found us guilty, none of the journalists bothered to ask what were the offenses listed. I never read any in the papers. I didn't see any on my phone. No letter got to me or any of my colleagues, only to be told that you've been suspended from the party. For what? If I ask the reporters who wrote that story, they will be gazing. And I'm surprised that nobody could muster the courage to ask what were the offenses. Nobody invited me for any hearing. And of course, maybe they know that if they do, because they lacked the locus, I would not have gone. But they would have at least have tried to fulfill all righteousness by extending an invite to us. But I assure you they didn't do that. And
the
that
Labour
is
Party,
in their style.
The Labour Party says it's not interested in any coalition and will go solo in 2027. Is that something you align with?
You keep talking about the Labour Party. I don't know why, if Mr. Abure, it is some like the Nation today
what
reported fractional chairman. That Abure does not represent the Labour Party as chairman anymore. That could even be contempt of court. But he does not represent the Labour Party. So if Abure says that he is not engaged in coalition, fair enough, that's his opinion. Abure does not represent. If we have elected members in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, in the state assemblies, and the governor, and the national leader, and all of them are standing on one side, I'd like to ask, have you seen one person of importance seated near Abure at any press conference?
Quickly,
or has declared for Labour Party
Honorable,
in the last 2 or 3 years?
Do you align with the call of coalition, and what options are you exploring?
Everything is open. You know, for opposition parties, you could do a merger, you could do a coalition, whatever works. Politics is about the contestation for power. And whatever you think would help you to achieve your goal of getting onto power, to run your programs, fair enough. So we are not shutting our doors. We'll keep talking. That is the soul of democracy.
What do you consider the way forward right now, in a minute if you can? If you have a magic wand, what will you do?
The way forward is for Abure not to seek to pull the party down because of his current situation. We all supported him, but for a party to grow, you need to open the doors, and he refused to open the doors. So now that we are not throwing him away, if he repents, he's still a part of us. Who knows, we might even promote him and give him some other position in the party.
Good place to leave it. Leader of the Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives, Honorable Ogene, thank you so much for talking to us on the news this evening.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, well, it's not the news, actually. It's beyond the headlines. So the new Pope has been revealed as Robert Prevost of the U.S., the first American pontiff in history, and he will be known as Pope Leo the 14th. And this is coming after white smoke billowed above the Sistine Chapel, the signal that cardinals had selected a new pontiff on the second day of the conclave. We're following that story closely, and you can get more of it on our news at 7. I am Nifemi Ogunto. You can watch the program all over again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow.